Hey, Warren, I've got a question about how to turn a blog into a book. Well, that's actually the question. How do you go about that process? I've written lots of blogs, but more importantly, I've had a number of clients, customers, and folks come to me, and they've got some great blogs, and they're looking to find something to do with it. Mm-hmm. Turning some of that good content into a book seems kind of obvious to me, but not my field of work, not really my area. How would you recommend going about that process?
Well, it's a great question because there's a couple approaches. And first of all, most of the people asking this question haven't done all the blogging or haven't focused on getting blogs in subjects and categories and things like that. So I'd say it starts off by having a good outline of what you want to have in for those people. And if you've already got the blog post written, then supposedly you've already got them in good categories. But to make sure what you want to write about, and it's a simple idea of what are the 10 questions people who don't know about your subject would be asking, and make sure you answer those questions. Most of the time we leave the question out of the chapter title and turn it into that. But, if you were going to have an outline of the basics of how to get started, and don't hold back, talk about everything. It's not, here are the first 4 things. To get more, you need to call me and buy something, which is another misconception. But the biggest misconception out there is that writing a book is a matter of sitting down at a word processor and just start typing. The outline is everything. I've seen people write 4, 5, 6, more, hundreds of pages and not have their topic defined, just to throw it out. And a lot of that material can be used, but it's easy to create the material when you know what the things you're going to cover them, and then once you have the chapters, you break that down into what are the 3 main points you need to know, and that could be 5 or 7 or 10, or doesn't really matter on the number as much as having that process of going through and doing that. I like a mind map. I start out with the subject in the middle, make the spokes come out, and then spokes from there, and literally as fast as I can type, I fill it in, and that becomes the outline quite often. And as I go back to it, I let it sit and then go back to it and go, wow, I missed something here, or I want to add that, or this is not practical, we can't get this one done, or it's too much work, get rid of it. But for the most part, the outline could be done in one session of doing that. Once you have that, then it's a matter of putting the pieces you have into place. And like you're saying, if somebody comes and says, I've been blogging, I have a lot of material, the other myth is that, you just take the blogs and paste them together and they become a book. Even the ones that look like that when you read them, somebody's done some amount of editing and trying to put it together. In writing blog posts, you can refer to other things you've done, put a hyperlink in a book. You may want to refer to something and put the page number, but for the most part you don't. You just cover the subject one time. And so, it's a matter of reading through. The best example of a book from blog post that I've ever seen is Tom Peters' book. He's the In Search of Excellence guy. Lots of books out there, Tom Peters. And one of his recent books, it's been a few years now, was from his first 4 years of blogging. And he tells the story at the front of it, and, go pick that up and read it if nothing else. It's a few pages of the process he went through, and the time he spent reviewing all of the posts and then deciding what he was going to do. He says he spent more time working on it than he spent writing the book in the first place. But you know what? It was a labor of love. He enjoyed it. I would say you would too. Once you get to that point, you're working on that. It's stuff you want to do. If you're Tom Peters, you're known for writing 500-page breakthrough business books with good examples of companies you've actually consulted, and you're playing at that level. Well, then, some editor better spend a lot of time getting the facts straight and things like that. This is a guy that paid $50K for a speech or something, it's he's at that level. If you're writing your first book and you're setting yourself apart as an expert, you've been blogging, it's not going to be near as much work as that. At the same time, you're going to want to make sure that it's not just garbage. It's just not a printout of your blog. At which point, I like to say, in writing a book, the author's job is to be the person at the front of the book and have it be his ideas. Everything else can be contracted. We have people that can help with editing, rewriting, ghostwriting, partnering on it, collaborating, getting somebody else that's an expert to share as a co-author. All that can be done. The main thing is make a decision you want to do it. Having a book is a great thing. You decide you want to do it. Then usually what I do when I'm working with a customer is we take what you have and we figure out where you want to go. It's as simple as that.
That makes sense. Well, hey, I appreciate it, and I really like the topics on, covering in an outline and, coming up with the 10 questions that people would, want to know about that topic, and then filling those things in either with things you've already written and after editing, or as you prepare to write those into the future. That sounds like a good strategy.
Sure.
I'm just about motivated to give it a try myself.
I have one actually turned out to be friend more than client. She ended up writing a post about it that we put on bestsellerauthors.com some time ago. She set out that she wanted to have this topic written about. She was an expert in the field. She assigned her assistant to make sure that the blog post went up 3 times a week. She got done a chapter a month somewhere in November of the year, started in January. She put it all together, had it edited, and put it out as a book. It was all her thoughts, all her talking about it, but had a lot of help at actually getting physically the stuff done. And literally we turned experts, few hours of interviewing them into books by getting the professional help that we can. But in your case, let's do another session sometime and outline your book.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Or maybe we'll even talk about how to turn a video series into a book.
we might be doing that soon.
Right. All right. Well, thanks a lot.